How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to the San Jose Sharks franchise mode, episode number 9, headed into the second half of the 2024-25 regular season, year number 9. Now, in the last one, it was a so-so start, followed by a crazy second half of that first half, where we've now gone 9-1-0 in our last 10 games. I believe something like 10-1-1 in our last 12, and we went from one of the bottom 5 teams in the league to a top 5 team in the league, as we currently sit 5th at the halfway point with a record of 24-13-4. Now, while the team's been doing very well, Connor Bedard up to an 86 overall here in his sophomore season, coming off of the Calder Trophy last year. William Eklund, 39 points for him. Erik Karlsson turning back the clock. Drouin, Hertl, all doing great. Jason Zucker, 26 points. I'd love to see that. Chaz Lucius, rookie season, on pace for 40-some points. It's been the defense that's struggling a little bit, as well as the goaltending. Ilya Samsonov here in his first season as a Shark, 16-10-3, sub-900 save percentage through 30 games, and allowing over 3 goals per game, 3.17. Meanwhile, his backup, Samuel Montembeault, has been much better, and he's at 15 games played as a 79 overall, so he's been impressive. He has a shutout. Samsonov, the wins are there, and the team as a whole is getting better, so hopefully Samsonov will follow suit. But our biggest questions headed into the second half are, number 1, how can we improve the special teams? And number 2, would it be a good idea to dip into free agency and offer a contract to Blake Wheeler, who is still a free agent here in January? He's an 84 overall, 38 years of age, only asking 2.6. He still has really impressive attributes for the things that matter the most. 4-star shooting, 87 offensive awareness, 89 passing. All of that is what matters the most. He could be our little jumpstart on that second power play unit, perhaps. But before we dive into making any decisions, trades, ideas for down the road headed into the second half of the season, we have to jump into the comments. So turning to the assistant general manager, starting off with Cheating Heel, who says, after a rough start, good to see that the team got back into shape. I'd like to see more from some of our top paid players such as Hertl, Couture, and Drouin. If we're still in a good position at the deadline, my main target would be to get a top D-man, ideally more of a defensive D-man, to be paired with either Erik Karlsson or Evan Bouchard. Looking at the block, Lindell would be the best available and is on the last year of his contract, 85 overall, making $5.8 million over on Dallas. Not sure what the Stars' record is, but if it would make sense, just as an aside here, the Stars are currently a winning team, just above 500. So if we do revisit Lindell, as Cheating Heel suggests, that would be a great option for us, only if the Stars start to go a bit more downhill. As of now, they're still fighting for a playoff spot. On offense, looking at what he's doing, I might drop Anthony Mantha to the third line for the time being and try Zucker or Lindblom in the top 6 in the hope that it kickstarts Mantha. Not sure what to do with the power play, but that second wave needs a boost. Chaz Lucius has been quite impressive this year, while Thomas Bordelot has been the opposite. We sent him down to the AHL. It might be time to give him a fresh start elsewhere and trade him for a younger prospect who can flourish with us. Great first half of the season. We might not need much improvement to push this team to the next step. Go Sharks. Thank you very much. And building on what Cheating Heel said in relation to not sure what to do with the power play, Joseph says bring Wheeler in. A nice redemption story. Also, I could see you trading for Justin Braun from Detroit and have him retire as a Shark. I think he was undrafted and San Jose gave him the opportunity. We can consider that as well. If we're looking at more of a defensive depth option, then Justin Braun could be an option for us. Speaking of Wheeler and power play, Tic Tac also leaves a comment and starts it off by saying, love how organic and slow-paced this rebuild is. Not rushing it, letting things breathe, and living with the mistakes of the younger players. I appreciate that. That being said, I love the idea of bringing Wheeler in. I would even consider a 2-year deal for Blake Wheeler. Give the young guys a veteran boost, improve your lineup and power play too, and then potentially consider moving him at the draft or next year's deadline as a way of properly managing assets. It would be a nice redemption story for Wheeler, and you could move him to a contender as a thank you. And, we recoup a pick or whatever in that deal as well. Keep it up. Thank you, Tic Tac. I like this idea a lot because Blake Wheeler, very low risk, high reward. And worst case, we sign him to a 2-year deal, and then we move on from him later, whether he works or not. If he works for us, great. Now, thank you, and we get value out of him. Or if he doesn't, well, goodbye, and we'll get something less value. The only question I have is, what would his demand be for a 2-year deal? He wants $2.5 million for 1 year. Does it change drastically for 2 years? That's what we'll have to check out after we're done with the comments. Mike also has power play thoughts. Glad you're feeling better. Great video. Thank you, Mike. I was feeling a bit under the weather during my last video, and I received many kind wishes, so thank you, everyone, for leaving those comments. For the power play, I'd recommend just shifting guys around in positions. On the first unit, I'd move Eklund to the wing, etc., etc., as you can see, distributor, finisher, and then on power play 2, switch Lindblom and Mantha, etc., etc. I'm following what Mike suggested here to the T, and that's what we'll do for our power play units. That's without bringing in Blake Wheeler just yet. We're still considering that. I don't think we should add without subtracting, as we are already in a logjam. I'm disappointed in both Lindell and Vessalainen, so maybe packaging them for someone or picks. I could see Vessalainen moving for defensive depth, honestly. I do think that we are a conservative buyer at this point if we stay on this trajectory. If we are to add, I think the targets are defense. More of a defensive style players. We already have Carlson, Bouchard, and Merkley as offensive types. Absolutely right. A legit scorer and or bottom 6 defensive player. Looking forward to the next one. Go Sharks. Thank you very much, Mike. Mittened Kitten also likes Blake Wheeler. I'd take a chance on Blake Wheeler for the 3rd or 4th line. He's a pretty good defensive forward that will throw his body around. He isn't very expensive and doesn't want a long contract. Good points there. Thank you, Mittened Kitten. And finishing off with Pat Sully, who says, a wonderful streak to close out the first half. Really enjoyed the episode. I would consider Ryan O'Reilly. Here's someone we hadn't really considered, who's on the block over in St. Louis. 3 years remaining, not a horrible cap hit for consistently the best simulating defensive forward in the game year after year. One of Lindblom, Drouin, or Mantha would have to go back in the deal. Could throw in Vessalainen and or Bordelot to make it happen. Otherwise, I would let this team ride to the playoffs and just trade Vessalainen for futures. You can also potentially move Vlasic to a team soon, less than 2 years left on his deal. Honestly, Vlasic's been doing well, so I'm not looking to move on from him just yet, as well, maybe he'll retire this season. But good to note that we're getting into territory where it wouldn't be totally unrealistic to move on from him. So with all that being said, I'm not going to make any major moves right now, as we want to continue to see how the team does heading into the second half. Dallas is a winning team, as I mentioned, so I'm not going to make an Lindell trade just yet. They're 21-17-4. The St. Louis Blues with Ryan O'Reilly on the block, they're also a winning team, 21-18-2. I don't think it would make a lot of sense for a winning team to trade their captain, who I'm not sure off the top of my head what his no movement clauses are, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a full no movement clause. So I don't think that makes a lot of sense right now to make that deal just from the context. If St. Louis were to be losing, then okay, Ryan O'Reilly, I'm sure he'd be much more open to waiving his no movement clause with 3 years left if they're going on a sell trajectory. But for right now, I'm going to wait it out, see what happens with Dallas and St. Louis. Not make any trades, but we will look to pick up Blake Wheeler. Now, he did have, there's the stories with what happened in Winnipeg, stripped of the captaincy, some locker room issues. We have a strong locker room here. We have Logan Couture, we have Marc-Edouard Vlasic. They're going to keep everyone in check, and hopefully he can be a good veteran presence for us here. Coming in, maybe being humbled a little bit, no contract for half the year. 1 year at 2.6, which could go down to like 2.25, or 2 years at 3.675. 85% of that is 3.12. The thing is, we have 7.931 million to play with, and I'm okay with doing the 2 years at 3 point whatever, because we're only keeping him this season. Whether he does well or whether he just implodes, we are trading him at the draft or at the start of next season or whatever we have to do. Right now, whether it be 1 year, 2 million, or 2 years, 3 million, or whether it be 8 years, 8 million, or 1 year, 8 million, anything like that, it doesn't really matter. I don't think we're really weaponizing our cap space either, as it's hard to do that in EA land. Teams don't understand that you're trying to do them a favor. So 2 years at 3.125 would be 85%. Yeah, 3.125 for 2 years. I'm going to see what Blake Wheeler has to say about this, with the understanding that we're going to be moving on from him. Hopefully it's going to be a redemption story, and he's going to be depth for us. Bottom 6, second unit power play. A bit costly, but we have the money now, and we don't need to worry about it next season because we're going to move on from him. So I'm okay with that contract, even though it's more than I'd like to pay. And we'll see what he has to say in a few days from now. Something else we want to think about contractually was William Eklund. We considered, do we try and wait on him, qualify him as an RFA, kind of, a little 2, 3, 4 year thing where he stays as an RFA, a 5x5 where he becomes a UFA, or 8 years and he's asking for close to $9 million. Honestly, I've thought about it from every which way. You could go 4 years at, let's say, about $7 million, and then you get him as an RFA, but then he's going to cost you $9-10 million for the next, 4 years. We could go 5 years, we get him really cheap, 5x5 for the next 5 years, but then he's still going to be wanting $9-10 million at the end of the deal, and we don't have his RFA rights. 8 years, it does cost a lot more, where 85% is still 7.6, but I feel like he's kind of worth it. Like, looking at the current day NHL and what players are getting at this age and this production, first couple of years, solid enough, 44, 47 points. This year, almost at a point per game pace. So I think it makes sense to pay the man. Not exactly what he's looking for. I don't like to use 85% every time. But I think an 8-year deal would make sense if we were looking to pay him like 7 points, going the wrong direction, like a 7.75 or a 7.85 for 8 years. Yeah, I'm liking this deal. I think it's a fair deal. If we do this, it leaves us with about $5 million to play with, and we only really have like Scott Reedy to re-sign at the moment, even Ryan Merkley. But aside from that, I think we should be in an okay spot. There wasn't much comment interaction about William Eklund. There was one comment saying go for the 5 years. There was one saying go for the RFA, 4-year RFA deal. But I feel like the 4-year RFA deal is just like $1 million or $1.5 million cheaper than the 8-year deal. Do we really need that extra $1 million or $1.5 million just to lose 4 years of team control? I think the 8-year makes sense the more I think about it. I was about to go for the 5-year deal. When I started recording, I was saying, okay, 5x5. But now the more I think about it, I think we're in an okay spot. So Eklund has been extended. Well, we sent the extension. Wheeler contract offer has been sent. Scouts have been sent out. Last thing to do is just fix up the lineup according to what Mike said for the power play. And we're going to fix up the lineup here, putting Mantha on the third line and promoting Jason Zucker, who has been lights out. Somehow he does it year in and year out. It's just he does nothing, then he explodes. Let's see what he does in the second line with Hurdle and Couture. And we'll give Mantha some third line minutes with Cody Glass and Chaz Lucius. Power play wise, let me just bippity boppity boo. And there you have it. The first and second units have been moved around, and the distributor, finisher, puck carrier, all the roles have been set according to what Mike suggested. We'll make some more changes if and when Blake Wheeler signs, but for now, let's move on to the Carolina Hurricanes, a very strong team with our former goaltender between the pipes, Capo Kakinen, who's on pace to win the Vezina, of course, the moment he leaves our team. But let's do it at the Shark Tank, excuse me. The Hurricanes only 5-3-2 in their last 10, so a better team record, but we are the hotter team. Starting off the second half of year number 3, let's do it. First period, and it's 0-0, shots 11-8 in our favor. Second period, 3-2. Evan Bouchard opens it up short-handed, no less. Seth Jarvis scores twice on Montembeault to make it a 2-1 game, but then Thomas Hurdle, followed by Connor Bedard 8 seconds later, makes it a 3-2 Sharks lead. Shots 24-20 for San Jose. Thomas Hurdle and Connor Bedard putting us up, but then Seth Jarvis with a hat trick, tying it at 3, but Connor Bedard, second of the night, makes it 4-3, restoring our lead. Seth Jarvis, the only, never mind, Andrei Svechnikov making it 4-4. Three from Jarvis over the course of like 20 minutes. Aho on the power play, now we're down by 1. With 7 minutes to go, it's been really up and down. This third period has not been kind to us. Montembeault hang on tight, and who can put one late? And we lose this one 5-4. Montembeault allows 5 on 28. Lovely. Lovely stuff. Jarvis hat-trick, Bedard 2 goals, and William Eklund 3 assists, ready to sign that new contract. I sure hope he is. As we simulate to the game against Tampa, will he be signing? Another strong matchup coming up. Blake Wheeler, not enough money. Okay. And based on that laughable offer you submitted, I'm not interested in a contract extension anymore. What are you saying? Laughable? That's the first time I've seen that in a very long time, especially with morale turned off. Laughable? I don't care if you're not interested. I'm going to offer it to you anyways. What are you saying, laughable? Is it that's why, because he scored a few points and his demand probably went up. So 85% is no longer 8 point whatever, 7 point whatever. Laughable? But what kind of disrespect is that coming into my office and saying that to me? Now he wants 7.926. So, yeah, okay, I'll give you an extra 100K for that 3-point performance. 7.95 for 8 years. Laughable, but come on. And Blake Wheeler, I don't see many people knocking on your door, buddy. Come on, let's go. I'll give you, I don't really care about the money like I said previously because we're moving on from him. So, whatever. You want 2 years? I'll give you 3. The only reason I'm really thinking about the money is because the more it is, the harder the contract is to move. All right, 2 years, 3.35. Let's go, you guys. You two, come on. Greed. Love money is the root of all evil. Come on. Tampa Bay, let's see it. They are 30, 14, and 1. Let's try and get this Eastern Conference swing back in our favor. First period, 2-1 Tampa. Stamkos opens it up. Bedard ties it. Kucherov restores the lead with 20 seconds to go. Shot 17-6. Come on. Second period, 3-3. Couture ties it up. Goncalves makes it a 3-2 game, but then Chaz Lucius' 10th goal of his rookie season ties it at 3. Shots are 27-13. Come on, Samsonov. 3-3. It's Matt Luff. 4 goals on 14 shots. You're killing me. 5 goals on 16 shots. Logan Couture's second of the night brings us within 1. 6 goals on 17 shots. Lindblom power play. We're back within 1. Come on. Under 10 to go. Down by 1. It's been back and forth this entire third period. Don't tell me the offense is dried up now. Final 2 minutes? What a joke. Come on. Doubling their shots 38-19. And we lose. 2 goals from Couture. These are the games we can't lose. If we're scoring 5 goals and the other team's getting under 20 shots, we cannot be losing these games. Let's go. Who's in? You guys signing these contracts or what? Eklund was even injured a bit there. Injured. I'm going to get Bystad in the lineup as well. Let's go, boys. Come on. These injuries. Okay, I'm going to take care of the injuries. Come on. Let's see it. Easy. Oh, my goodness. I wasn't interested, but easy decision. Yeah, goodbye. And Blake Wheeler, what do you say, buddy? Oh, extremely happy. Okay, great. Lovely stuff. Let's fix up the lineups, NHL and AHL, and then we'll keep simulating after a tough couple losses there. Okay, so Blake Wheeler is in the lineup. He's going to play 4th line with Reedy and Lindblom, as well as 2nd unit power play. We'll see how that goes after a tough couple losses there. We have him in the lineup. We have Eklund signed up long-term to an extension. Blake Wheeler 2 points away from 1,000 points in his NHL career. So let's see if he can do it on the road here in Columbus. That Eastern Conference swing continues. I forget if those last 2 were at home, but our Eastern Conference string of games against Eastern Conference teams continues. The Blue Jackets are 14, 20, and 11. 3-5-2 in their last 10. We're on a couple game, little losing skid there the last 2. And with Blake Wheeler in the lineup, let's see what we can do as we go on the road. First period, 2-0. Mantha on the power play and Connor Bedard, 2-0. Lovely. Second period, 3-0. Logan Couture on the power play. And third period ends 3-0. A 23-save shutout from Samuel Montembeault. Of course, it's Montembeault. Nothing from Samsonov. Thank you, my friend. Any points from Blake Wheeler? Yes, 1 point from Blake Wheeler in his Sharks debut. He had 55 points last year with the Jets, was left to free agency. Nobody signed him, and that's an injury in the AHL. Head coach can do that, even though I pressed the menus are too sticky. 999 career points now for Blake Wheeler. And I also forgot to mention that for the defense, I went ahead and put Kniazev back in the lineup. He has top 4 potential, so I want him to play. I don't want him to sit too much. So he'll play with Merkley, but Vlasic is going to sit for a little bit as Kniazev will draw back in the lineup. Not sure if he got any points in the last game. Don't think he did, but he's back. All right, let's go back to the calendar now for some calendar simulation. And let's get a little chunk of time done here. Not going anywhere in particular. Let's just start simulating and get the second half going. As we started with 2 losses, we win 3-0, 5-2 loss against the Devils, which I'm sure was Ilya Samsonov between the pipes. Ottawa Senators on the road, we lose 3-2. Boston Bruins on the road, we win 5-4. You see, we gotta score 4. We gotta score 5 because we're allowing 4. Ben Jones on waivers here. No, I'm gonna go ahead and pass on him. No problem. Lindbergh's back for the AHL. Keep on simulating. Big 7-1 win against the Panthers. All right, we got a little week and a half, little bye week going there with a 7-1 win. Not a bad feeling to have. Now we move into Colorado to take on the Avalanche. Mangiapane for a third, a fourth, and Matt Benning. I'm going to pass on that for the moment since we just picked up Blake Wheeler. In Colorado, we win 4-3, and then we win the next night 2-1 against the Wild. Rare that we only allow 1 goal. Injured hip for Samsonov. Maybe it's better like that. Let him rest, let him recover. Maybe something was nagging at him. I don't know what. What were his numbers now at the time of injury? .889 save percentage. So Samuel Montembeault will be getting our starts for the next little bit, and Makiniemi will back him up. Montembeault currently sitting with a .901 save percentage, 2.71 goals against average. All right, let's see what you got, big boy. Montembeault, 3-2 win against the Vancouver Canucks. Erik Karlsson, sore knee. Okay, so Vlasic will come back into the lineup as Karlsson will sit. We're going to bump Evan Bouchard up to the top pair. And defense will look like this. Don't mind the chemistry. It's not actually real. It's not true. Then you leave, then you come back, and it's better. 6-5 overtime win against the Red Wings. That's huge. Let's go see this game. The Oilers are 31-21-2. We are 31-17-4. We're on a, 5-game winning streak? 3, 4, 5. We're on a 6-game winning streak at least, I believe. So let's see what we can do here. Back-to-back nights, take on the Oilers. First period, 1-0. Kniazev, there he is. Okay, thank you very much. Probably his third of the season. Second period, 3-0. Blake Wheeler, there he is. So he definitely has 1,000 points now. And the captain, Logan Couture, we're up 3-0 headed into the third period against Mikey DiPietro and the Edmonton Oilers. Shots tied at 22. 5 minutes in. Let's just get to the end of this one, and it ends 3-2 the final. Yikes. Dylan Holloway and Leon Draisaitl on the power play. Montembeault makes 28 saves on 30 shots. 27 on 30 wasn't enough for DiPietro as we take this one. Shots tied at the 30 apiece. And Logan Couture, first star of the night with a goal and an assist. All right. 6-game winning streak now, I believe. And Connor Bedard, injured elbow. What's all these little random injuries that everyone's back at like February 20-something? All these super minute injuries. So, who comes into the lineup now? It's Cunnin who comes back to the lineup. Yes. So, let me fix that up. And there we go. We'll just do that. Cody Glasgow, second line center. Just, February 25th is around the corner. Super short-term injuries for both Karlsson and for Bedard. So, let's just sim to when everyone's back, which is around the 25th. We should start getting some notifications here. Just a few games of how you just saw the lines. A second and a fifth for a third and Matt Benning. Not a bad offer, but I'm going to pass at the moment. Matt Benning's a guy that we're likely going to move around the deadline, but I want to wait and see if we're going to use him in a package before I just trade him for whatever. Samsonov is back, but I'm going to wait on him. 3-2 overtime loss, 3-2 loss. I'm going to wait. Prunovich, okay. Why is everyone injured until February 25th? Erik Karlsson fully healed. Nice to see that. Back in the lineup. Not sure why he's dropping to an 84 overall. He's having a great offensive output this season and getting tons of ice time. Florida, we beat them 7-1 last time. Now this time they beat us 4-3 in the shootout. Who's back here? Connor Bedard, playable injury. No, I don't want to play him. And what's up over here? Makiniemi, he's doing okay. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to keep Makiniemi Montembeault. Samsonov, that's how bad you've been. 3-1 win against the Hurricanes. Ben voyons donc. We'll do this last game against the Islanders, then we'll get Bedard back in the lineup. In New York, Prunovich, okay, hold on, I'll fix that in a second, and a 3-2 loss. These are tight games. Let me fix the lineups back for the NHL and the AHL. All right, all is well. Everyone's back in the lineup, aside from Samsonov, who I'm not putting back in just yet. Okay, Blackhawks, Senators, we're getting close to the deadline here. Let's go see, the St. Louis Blues are doing well now, so we probably won't make a trade with them. But let's go see the Pacific Division rival Seattle Kraken. We'll play the Hawks and then the Senators. Then we'll go see that game before. Hey, wrist sprain. You're kidding me. Tomas Hertl out. All right, so Cunnin is back in the lineup. We'll keep doing the same thing. Bedard, Glass, Reedy. Cunnin will be the center depth. As we have offered second and a fifth. Same thing from the Coyotes. All right, we know that deal's available for us. Senators, hold on, a little glitch. Gotta stop simulating, and it tells you what happened. 7-3 win against the Hawks, 3-1 loss against the Senators. Now here we are, 34-20-6 up against the 31-26-5 Seattle Kraken at home. Let's see what we can do here, as it's big implications in the Pacific Division. First period, 2-0 Sharks. Drouin on the power play, and then Cody Glass on that second line. There you go. Second period, 3-0. Jonathan Drouin avec son deuxième. 2 goals for Drouin, 3-0 Sharks. And we have a power play opportunity, killed off, and let's call it there. Game ends 4-1 the final, as Jared McCann adds 1 to break the shutout for Montembeault, but then Connor Bedard restores the 3-goal division there. 35-26, the shots for us in the end, and we have Drouin 2 goals, Montembeault 25 saves, and Connor Bedard 3rd star. All right. Montembeault, I'm loving him as the starter. I have no reason to put Ilya Samsonov back in right now. Let's keep going towards, let's just sim towards the next 2 days. We won't play another game. We're 35-20-6 at the moment, holding top spot in the Pacific by 1 point over the Vancouver Canucks. So it's very tight out there. What I want to see right now is how have the special teams improved since the halfway point in the last 20 games. So at the halfway point, we were scoring 3.51 goals for per game and allowing 3.05. We're scoring the exact same. Our goals against has gotten slightly lower, so that's great. We were 5th in the NHL, now we are 4th in the NHL. And our power play was 12.8%. Our power play 20 games later is now 13.1%. Marginally better, still amongst some of the worst in the league, I would think. Yeah. Still in the bottom of the NHL, and I think we were even higher up comparatively. I think we were in like 10th last. Now we're, what, 8th last? So power play has not been great. And our penalty kill was at 89.5, one of the better penalty kills in the league, down to 86.4. I'm sure it's down around the entire league. We're still one of the better teams. But yeah, special teams haven't been great. Power play slightly better, penalty kill a bit worse. And we're allowing less goals, which is good, but I'd still be curious to see if there's a defensive partner out there for us, because through 61 games, 56 for Connor Bedard, who's leading the team in points, I'd be curious to see what's up with the defensive plus minuses here. Sorting by defense, we see everyone's a plus, aside from Vlasic -1. Even Merkley back to an even plus minus. This is a tough call here, because the defense isn't flashy, but they seem to be getting the job done. Goaltending-wise, Samsonov hasn't been good. Montembeault, not great, but better. And Makiniemi doing solid. So it's Samsonov who's been scaring me more than anybody. And that's what's really the biggest red flag heading into the postseason. So I'll take a look around the league, see who's available. Scoring-wise, Mantha, he's on like a 44, 45-point pace, which isn't what I really wanted from Anthony Mantha. I wanted to see more from him. Lindblom, he's a special teams guy, so I don't mind him lacking in that regard. Chaz Lucius coming along fine. Like, who would I really cut, you know? Like, it would have to be a Drouin, a Mantha, a Lindblom to bring another forward in. And for defense, we already have our 7 D-men. And Ferraro's doing great, 15 points plus 17. He's one of our best. I'd have to move out. Do I really want to move out Knyazhov or Knyazev? Not really. Not really. So unless someone really stands out, a really like juicy contract on a losing team, I don't know if we'll make any moves aside from maybe moving like Vessalainen for futures. But I'll do my due diligence and see what I can find. Alright, so I've done a lot of thinking, and there are some good options out there. Guys like Eric Johnson, Dmitry Kulikov, guys who are 81, 82 overall. I'm not quite sure or sold on these guys being worth, okay, I'm going to bump Knyazev out of the lineup. This guy's going to bump Vlasic out of the lineup. This guy might even bump, like, Ferraro or Merkley out of the lineup. If we were to get a big player, I think it would have to be that type of Esa Lindell guy. Now, Dallas, at the deadline, are a 500 team, 30, 29, and 4. I think it does make sense at this point to say that they're saying, let's sell, and we're not wanting to take that risk. We have too many players on expiring deals. Let's start selling. From Hintz all the way down to Ernie and further, they all have a ton of expiring contracts. So if I say, okay, Dallas, I'm taking Esse with Lindell with the understanding that we likely will not keep him past this season. He's a pure playoff guy. We're not in win now mode, but we're a solid team at the top of the Pacific Division. Let's shore up the defense, the one area in which we've been struggling the most. 4.5-star defense. This guy's a tank, 6'3", left-handed D. He can play top pair with Erik Karlsson. I would love to get Esse Lindell. Now, there are other players who have been suggested in the comments, like Casey Cizikas, but he has 3 years left on his contract. Justin Braun was suggested over in Detroit, but they're way too close to the cap, where I'd have to send them only picks or prospects, not a guy like in this package with Lindell. I'm going to send picks and prospects, but I could also send Matt Benning or whoever else to add trade value. With Detroit, they have no cap room, so Justin Braun, and he's an 81 overall, wouldn't make as much sense, although it would be a good story. Esse Lindell, going back the other way, I've given a lot of thought to this, and here's who I think I'm offering Dallas in a deal that would make sense for them. I think I'm willing to offer them, drumroll please, Thomas Bordeleau. In the real world, Bordeleau is going to be a great player. Here in EA land, he does not seem to simulate very well. I'm not just going off of the 9 games where he had 1 assist with us with limited ice time. 2 full seasons in the minors, and then 1 half season so far. 2.5 years in the minors. 35 points in 61 games, playing 21-21 per night. 32 points in 70-some games, playing over 20.5 minutes a night. Now he has about 21.5 minutes of ice time per night, and he has 26 points through 46 games. If the season's 72 games, I'm not sure exactly how long it is for the Barracuda, but if it's a 72-game season, that puts him on a 41-point pace over an entire season as a first-line centerman, playing over 21.5 minutes per night, 81 overall, with an 81 overall line mate sniper. I'm not totally convinced this guy simulates very well. So in the real world, I'm all in on Thomas Bordeleau, but 23 years of age, 81 overall, not simulating great. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make the team in the end. So if I trade Dallas Thomas Bordeleau, not necessarily someone that they really want, but a prospect with value and upside nonetheless, I give you Bordeleau. I'll throw in some other pieces that you want for whatever reason, maybe players with terms such as Matt Benning. Scrolling down the list here, Matt Benning, here you go, a 79 overall defenseman, signed on for next season. You need players who have term. So here's Matt Benning. I'll toss him in. Well, actually, let me see how close that gets us. Thomas Bordeleau and Matt Benning in exchange for the rental of Esse Lindell. What does Dallas say to this? They would do it straight up. So can I take a little low-ranked pick back the other way? Not looking for too much, because already I think this is a fair deal. 6th-round pick, quite far off, excuse me. Let's just try a 7th-round pick with Dallas. What do you think about this, Dallas? Oh, my apologies once again. So, Thomas Bordeleau and Matt Benning going to the Dallas Stars in exchange for Esse Lindell to shore up the defense. Thank you very much, Dallas. We believe this transaction will contribute to our success. We accept your trade offer. Thank you very much. Esse Lindell, welcome to the Team Bello, and Thomas Bordeleau and Matt Benning, thank you for your service here in San Jose. That should be a big move for us headed into the postseason. Let's fix up the lineup and see what else we can maybe consider. So I was considering trying to get some goalie insurance, that being in the form of Yaroslav Halak, who's been doing amazing as a backup over in Anaheim. But the thing is, we have way too many goalies. We have to trade one out to bring one in. And all of them are kind of like so-so. Like Samsonov's still our starter on paper and Montembeault our backup. And then Makiniemi third goalie. You know, already to bring in a 4th goalie because Samsonov hasn't been doing well, but then who gets the starts? I feel like it might just make too much confusion. And I'm just looking at a final trade being just dumping Vessalainen for whatever we can get. So I'm going to go to the trade finder and see what teams want to offer for him. Has a little bit of value, maybe a 4th, maybe a 3rd, I don't know what. Low elite potential, 25 years of age. Doing okay in the AHL, but let's just get some value for him. What? A 2nd-round pick? Okay. A 2nd from the Coyotes, using the Rangers 2nd. Logan Brown. Dahan, a 4th and a 7th. 4th and a 7th or a 2nd from the Coyotes? Yeah. Even Edwards, yeah, that's crazy to take a guy like Sale, a prospect. I don't want to cheese the system too much. Already offering me a 2nd. I guess it's a team that wants to believe in its upside, but for a team to give me a young prospect for a guy who's 25 and not doing super well with less upside, that wouldn't make as much sense. But if the Coyotes really like Vessalainen and they want to outbid the other teams that are giving me 3rds and 7ths and they want to give me a low 2nd because the Rangers are a good team, Say no more. Christian Vessalainen off to the Arizona Coyotes for, thank you very much, for the Rangers' second-round pick in 2025, the upcoming draft. Thank you, Arizona. Thank you, Mr. Vessalainen. Wishing everyone all the best. Let's get back to the simulation. All right, AHL lines, NHL lines, couple trades in the books. Let's keep going with Lindell as a part of the organization. Another second-round pick in the team as well. Never too many of those. Now we move into St. Louis at the Enterprise Center to take on the 33-25-2 St. Louis Blues, with Lindell joining us here on the road 2 games before the deadline. Big splash with the Dallas Stars. Samsonov still watching from the press box. First period, 1-1 game, Cunnin on Binnington and JVR on Montembeault. Second period, 2-1, Evan Bouchard giving us the lead. Tight game headed into the third period, being outshot 21-19. Power play Sharks killed off by the Blues 5 minutes into the period. Still hanging on to our 1-goal lead. Shots still very even. Blues pulling away a little bit. 27-23 as Thomas scores on the power play to tie this game at 2. Final 5 minutes of this one. Any heroics from either side? Final minute. It's Logan Couture, the captain! With 25 seconds left, the Sharks win it. Shots end 30-29, and San Jose wins 3-2 in Lindell's debut. Couture a goal and an assist. Samuel Montembeault avec 27 arrêts. Woo, baby. 27 saves from him. Couture a 2-point night. Ferraro a point. Cunnin a point. Lindell 1 point +1. 21 minutes of ice time. 2 hits. Great stat line for his first game. Assist, goal from Evan Bouchard, who played almost 28 minutes. Oh my goodness, what a night here in St. Louis. Let's, actually, won't get to the calendar sim just yet because the trade deadline's around the corner. Let's get through this game against the Blackhawks. Then we'll get a good chunk of simulation done toward the end of the year. At the United Center, we don't know what happened. Keep current trade block, continue simming. We'll see in a moment once it simulates through. And it was a 5-1 loss. Lovely, against the Blackhawks. Let's just sim to the next day, and then we'll see what other deals happened around the NHL. Tomas Hertl fully healed. Now we'll get an idea of what this team can do when everyone is healthy. All right, dust off your Tomas Hertl jerseys, says Hockey Analyst. Let's go to the bottom here. What trades took place since ours? With the Coyotes there. Okay, so the Coyotes get Eric Johnson, Kevin Shattenkirk, and a third for 2 seconds on a prospect. Mikheyev and a fourth to Philly for JT Compher. Blake Coleman to the Canadiens for a second. David Savard and Tyler Benson. Backlund to the Islanders. Adam Larson to the Hurricanes. Teddy Bluger to the Kings. Bobrovsky to the Penguins. Prospects and picks moving around. Connor Brown to the Kings, Jordan Eberle to the Blue Jackets. Not a crazy trade deadline, but there are some moves. I think we definitely made the move of the deadline. Let the NHL be on notice that the Sharks are for real headed into the 2025 postseason. Let's get Tomas Hertl back in here and then do some calendar simulation. We're also going to get Samsonov back in the saddle, and hopefully he can wake up a little bit with Montembeault backing him up. Makanyemi did pretty well as third goalie there, serving in the backup role. His numbers were better than Montembeault's, but in a much smaller sample size. So that's why I will allow Montembeault to keep the backup role for now. Weird games coming up here. 2 against Anaheim, then 2 against Calgary. We played them 3 times in 6 days? So, I don't know, let's just get a random chunk of simulation done, maybe 3 weeks or so, and we'll see where we're at by then. Against Vegas, Nick Jensen on the waivers with $2.275 million cap hit. Defense, we don't need to do that. Decline that one. Winnipeg Jets, we're seeing a little matchup here. 3-1 loss against Lucius's old team and Wheeler's old team, but we lose in regulation. 3-2 shootout loss against the Dallas Stars. Lindell against his old team. Concussion, yikes, for Mario Ferraro. Keeping him out till the end of the season. That's 2 days after the end of the season. Yikes. So Ferraro's out. That means Kniazev will draw back in to play with Merkley. And Mark-Edward Vlasic goes from 8th defenseman back up to 7th defenseman. All right, so we'll keep rolling like that. Thankfully, it was on the third pair, but Mario Ferraro was playing very well, so that hurts. 4-3 overtime loss against the Ducks. We are, 1-2-2 since the trade, 2-2-2 since the Lindell trade as we beat the Ducks 2-1 there. 3-2-2 with a 5-1 win on the road against the Flames. Now at home to take them on once more. We beat them, all right, 4-2-2, 3-game winning streak as we beat the Flames once again, 4-2. Looking for win number 40 against the Avalanche. No, but then against the Canucks, we get it. Our biggest rival in the Pacific. Huge victory. And then we get shut out 4-0 by the Flames, who saw enough of us to read us now. 3-1 loss, 6-1 win, 4-0 loss. We are 40, 24, and 8 coming into this game against Vegas. Let's go see the Kings, though. They have a better record. On the road against Vegas, Karlsson, fractured jaw. Amazing. Amazing. Okay, so Evan Bouchard playing top pair with Lindell. Merkley second paired with Knyzhov. And Knyzhov going to play third pair with Vlasic. All right, I'd actually sent Vlasic down for a little conditioning stint in the AHL shortly. For a very short stint. Yeah, 11 games. Hey, look, what? 1 goal, 8 assists, and 9 points in 11 games in the AHL. Okay, let's bring some of that newfound offense to the NHL. Marc-Edouard. Of course, you say replace in all lines, but they never do in all lines. But then they do. I didn't even touch anything. It's so odd. But with Karlsson out, I wouldn't want to keep Vlasic there. So Bouchard will become the point man on power play number 1, and Merkley can take the point on power play number 2. It's a big blow to us, though, because Erik Karlsson was a big part of the offense. Oh, man. 52 points in 69 games, 45 assists, continuing to turn back the clock. Love this man. But, yeah, we'll see what we can do without him. Samsonov, hope you're waking up a little bit. Montembeault looking good. All right, the goaltending's turning it around a little bit. And now the Barracuda just do best lines down here. Fantastic. Okay. Now we got to do the classic. Pause the sim. Switch AHL. Switch back to NHL. Okay. 3-2 win against the Vegas Golden Knights. The Kings are 37, 30, and 7. That's right behind us by 9 points, but right behind us in the Pacific Division. So let's put some more distance between us and them, and let's take top spot in the Pacific, or at least tie for it with the Canucks. Here we go. First period, 2-1 Sharks. Brown opens it up, but then Hurdle and Chaz Lucius give us the 2-1 lead. We're tripling the shots, 12-4. Second period, 2-2, Brandt Clark. Shots are 24-16, but we're tied at 2. Power play Sharks open the period, killed off by the Kings 5 minutes in. 2 goals on 20 shots past Montembeault. Teams exchanging power plays, and Brandt Clark scores his second of the game, even strength goal. Shots now, hold on, power play San Jose, killed off by the Kings. We're down by 1 in the final minutes of this one. And that'll be all she wrote. 2 goals from Brandt Clark. And we can't score any more than the 2 that we got in the first period, as we lose that one 3-2 in regulation. We want to get top spot in the Pacific here, boys. Let's go. Let's go see our rivals here, the Canucks, and then we'll sim to the end of the season, as we now see the light getting towards the end. Owen Pickering, mild concussion. Best lines in the AHL. My goodness, tons of injuries down there. Eklund's healthy. That's good. The Rangers, one of the top teams in the East. We beat them by a score of 3-1. The Blue Jackets, who turned things around for their season, they beat us 5-3. Owen Pickering, fully healed. Lovely. And now here we are to take on the Vancouver Canucks, who are 6 points ahead of us, but we have 2 games in hand. All right, this is an important one. Here we go. At home, welcoming the Canucks into the Shark Tank. First period, 3-1. I was mispressing my buttons there, excuse me. Sundqvist, Podkolzin, and Adam Henrique score 3 goals within the first 10 minutes as we go down 3-0. And William Eklund, thankfully, is scoring the lone goal for us against former Shark James Reimer. Shots 13-8 for Vancouver. We're down by 2. Second period, 4-4. Wow, what a period. Knyzhov gets us on the board in the second period. JT Miller restores the 2-goal lead, Chaz Lucius makes it a 1-goal game. And then like 30 seconds later, Blake Wheeler, it would be 23 seconds later, Blake Wheeler ties it up at 4. Shots are 23-22 for the Canucks, but it's a tie game headed into the third period with huge implications. Power play San Jose killed off by the Sharks, and then Brandon Dillon, former Shark as well. Samsonov even got pulled. That's a goal on Montembeault. Power play Sharks, come on, power play, 5-on-3. We can't score on the power play in the slow sim. Under 5 to go, still down by 1. We scored 4, give me a 5th, Chaz Lucius. Lucius Haynes, the 7th. Shots 34-30 through 60 minutes. 5-5 game. Let's check out some overtime. Overtime here in San Jose. Big implications for the Pacific Division here on the line. Whoever gets this extra point may get the edge when it comes the time to seed teams for the postseason. Elias Pettersson streaking in, big save. Vlasic cleans up. That's true. He's playing first 3-on-3 because he's replacing Karlsson. Big pass up to Connor Bedard. Bedard gets hit off before he can get the shot away. Bedard to the point. Vlasic through traffic. Big blocker save from Reimer. Hurdle. Back to the point. Vlasic. Bedard once more. Back to Vlasic. Over to Hurdle. Right up. And that blocker side open. Kicks it out. Here's Eklund to the point. Evan Bouchard to Couture. And that deflected off of his stick and went into the crowd. There's a little 2-on-1. Horvat coming up against Bouchard. But Reedy gets back in time. Over the one. Sorry, it was Drouin gets back in time as Reedy breaks up the one-timer. Almost puts the puck into his own net. But at least he broke up the one-timer with a minute to go in overtime. That puck gets stuck in Höglander's skates. He has it coming back into San Jose territory, streaking in to Stastny. Big blocker save from Samsonov, point blank. 30 seconds to go in overtime. Stastny in the corner, one-timer unloaded from Höglander, I believe. Big save once again. Final seconds here of overtime. Höglander, Stastny, stopped by Samsonov, given out to Bouchard, and that will be the end of overtime, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty eventful, and we are headed to the shootout. Shots end tied at 35 apiece. 5-5 game here in the shootout. One of the league leaders, Elias Pettersson, starting it off here against Ilya Samsonov. Coming in. Ooh, nice forehand backhand, but Samsonov sticks with it and makes a nice sprawling save. Now shooting first for the Sharks, it is Connor Bedard, the team leader himself. Bedard! I'm not sure if Reimer got a piece of that one with the glove. Big save. Now it's Quinn Hughes. Yes, it is. Quinn Hughes coming in against Samsonov. Both first shooters missed, but he capitalizes on his second going blocker side on Samsonov. Just a little simple shot right through him. Classic little EA goal. Now the Sharks look to answer with Tomas Hurdle coming up now. Hurdle coming in one-on-one against Reimer. Hurdle doing the backhand, will run out of space, and Reimer makes the save. Now the Canucks with a chance to win it. It is JT Miller looking to end it here in the shootout up against Ilya Samsonov. He does not. And now the Sharks need to score. It is all on the shoulders of Jonathan Drouin. Jonathan Drouin avec les rondelles. Il patine, le but! Jonathan Drouin! He scores a weird one, but we stay alive. Okay. All right, it goes on TVA. Shout out to any TVA viewers. Here's Connor Garland coming in now. Fourth shooter for the Canucks. Nice save by Samsonov, who sticks with it. And now the Sharks have a chance to win it themselves. It is Sam Reedy with... it's Blake Wheeler, the veteran! Oh, what a story that would have been. Excuse me, I misunderstood the number 26 there. I misunderstood. I don't know, I just thought the 26 was Reedy. Here's Brock Besser now with a chance for the Canucks. Just takes a shot, and Samsonov turns it away easily with the blocker. Once again, the Sharks with a chance to win it, and now it's big Anthony Mantha coming in to close it out at home. Another save from James Reimer. We're now moving to the sixth shooter? Paul Stastny for the Canucks coming in. Walking in on Samsonov. Oh, he just takes a shot, and this time he gets him blocker side. Paul Stastny. And now the Sharks must answer once again. Drouin did it last time, and now the game on the shoulders of... Who is that? Is that Oscar Lindblom? No, it's Chaz Lucius, the rookie. Lucius, he scores! Chaz Lucius keeps the Sharks alive in the shootout. Oh my! Forehand, backhand, and backhand, forehand, backhand, I think that was. All right, we're back to square one. Lindblom's a left-handed shooter. I don't know why I said that. Niels Höglander walking in. So come on, what kind of goal is that? That's a classic EA land goal once again. Come on, a weird puck movement too. For a third time now, it is on the shoulders of Cody Glass. Can he keep the Sharks alive? Cody Glass walking in, And Reimer makes the save this time as the Canucks will win it in the shootout, giving them the extra point. Quite the game here. Quite the game. Reimer, he's losing it. They just won the cup over here. Look at these two guys celebrating together too. They are going bananas. Wow. All right, so quite the shootout. Overtime was eventful. I cut most of it because of the shootout. And the Canucks get the extra point with the 6-5 victory. All right, 7 points behind with 5 games to go. That may be the end of our hopes to win the Pacific Division, but we should be good to clinch a spot any day now. Let's keep on simulating towards the end of the season. Nashville, Dallas, Arizona. Oh, Erik Karlsson fully healed. That's a huge boost. I thought he was out for the season. All right, Erik Karlsson is back. That's a nice little surprising boost for us. How has Vlasic, 5 assists in 21 games. Kniazev's been really good. 8 goals, 5 assists. I've been loving him. So we'll go back to what we had before. And what's Merkley been up to? Merkley, 5 goals, 10 assists. I'll take it. Evan Bouchard. Okay. All right. The defense is coming along. I'm going to be excited to see Lindell's numbers with us as well. But Vlasic will go back to 7th D-man and Erik Karlsson back in the lineup. Okay, so there's a big morale boost for us. Erik Karlsson back in the lineup. Let's see how we do with him here. Best lines down in the AHL. And Montembeault, sprained wrist. Great, he's going to be out for like a week. So Samsonov will end out the season with Makiniemi as his backup. There we go. Alrighty. Can we just have a healthy end to the season here? Come on, 5-2 loss against the Predators. Let's see, we have Dallas, Lindell up against his old team. And Dallas goes ahead and starts winning now as soon as they sell. Okay. For a classic EA land, right? 4-3 shootout win against them. Arizona Coyotes are a winning team. We beat them 4-2. The Ducks, we beat them 4-2. We were close to competing for the division. But here we are closing out the season, looking for win number 46 against the Seattle Kraken, another team that likely made the postseason, I believe, in the Pacific Division. First period, 1-0 Kraken. It's Matty Beniers. Second period, 1-1 Anthony Mantha. And be sure to check out the Matty Beniers career simulation if you haven't already. Oscar Lindblom makes it a 2-1 game, down 1-0 to up 2-1. Power play Seattle, killed off by the Kraken. Outshooting them quite well at the moment, but still only a 1-goal game. Kraken power play killed off once again. Final 7 minutes or so. Shots are 36-22 with 5 minutes left. Lindblom holding on to the winner at the moment. Can we close out the year with a dub? And yes, we can. Shots end 38-26. Everyone's favorite, Oscar Lindblom, gets the game-winning goal. Blackwood played well, and Samsonov, one of the first times in a long time that I've seen him as a star of the game. 25 saves on 26 shots for him. Second star honors. And thus concludes the season, ladies and gentlemen, with a record... I know it's a minor injury, but so many injuries. Head coach replaced for the moment. 46, 27-9 is our record in the end. Everyone played their 82nd game. Let's check out the team and player stats. Okay, so in the end, we finished second in the Pacific, and the Kraken did not make the postseason. The Pacific ended up being very competitive, as the Oilers with 88 points and 42 wins did not make it. The Ducks, even with 42 wins, did not make it. We had 3 40-plus win teams did not make the postseason in the Pacific Division. The Coyotes win the President's Trophy here in 2025, with their prospects leading the way, of course. 47, 25, and 10 was their record, but we finished third best in the NHL, better than any Eastern Conference team to boot. Okay, scoring 3 1/3 goals per game, which was second best in the NHL, allowing 2.91 goals against per game. One of the not middle of the pack teams, but at least it got better from the halfway point of the season. Power play, 12.4%. Yikes. Not too hot. 4th worst in the NHL. We should still consider changing that heading into the postseason. And penalty kill, 85.5. Not amazing, but closer to the top than the bottom. I'm very curious. Who missed the postseason? What kind of teams were making the postseason? It must have been a weak Eastern Conference. You must have teams like 14th, 15th missing out. Or not quite. Okay, Dallas was 17th. No, okay. It was a stronger middle of the pack this season. The bottom must have been really bad then. As you have, we have the 30, 45, and 7 Montreal. The 30, 45, and 7 Florida Panthers finishing at the bottom of the league. Okay, odd year a little bit. Top 3 teams all in the West, but we will enjoy that title. Leading the team in points was now 87 overall Connor Bedard, who had a great sophomore season. Point per game and 44 goals and 33 assists, simulating as a sniper, which is rare. I find he simulates as a playmaker very often, so that's great to see. Improving on his rookie season totals, point per game pace, love to see it from the 19-year-old. William Eklund, 69 points for him in a fully healthy 82-game season, despite being injured in the final game. Way better than last season's 82-game total. Not as many goals, but way more assists. A much bigger role as well, averaging over 20 minutes of ice time. Love to see development from him. The captain, Logan Couture, at the age of 36, puts up lovely numbers. 62-point season, building on last year's 63. Love to see that rejuvenation. Tomas Hertl, 59 and 78. Would have wanted a bit more from him, but he had a bit of a reduced role this year. Not as much as first line, second line, 18 minutes per night. Maybe some more special teams would help. Jonathan Drouin, 58-point season from him, which was around what he did. He was on pace to do around that last year, so I like that. Less goals, but the same amount of points that we could expect from him. Erik Karlsson, 56 and 74. We'll absolutely take that. Anthony Mantha ended up getting that pace that we were looking at, 48 points in 80 games. Not amazing. I'm not sold on keeping him, but that's kind of what he's been simulating as. That's what he's been simulating as, doing it in the real world as well. Tying his career high of 1 point away from his career high of 49. Jason Zucker, 42 points in 82 games. I believe his production slowed down in the second half. Yeah, he had 26 points at the halfway point, so he was on pace for 52. He did 42. So in the second half of the year, he only got, 16 points? Not as great. Chaz Lucius in his rookie season scores 21 goals and 40 points. I'm very impressed with what he did, with only about 11 minutes of ice time per night. So he should get an increased role next season with Zucker moving out, maybe even Mantha moving out. Oscar Lindblom, he had a big special teams role this season. Second unit power play, first unit penalty kill. I'm totally fine with him only scoring 38 points. He was still getting his 13 minutes of ice time per night. As an 85 overall, maybe we should have given him some more ice time. It was more because of the personnel. But again, with Zucker moving out, maybe Mantha moving out, he should be back in the top 9 next season. It was a bit of just an off year. We're committed to him for the next 2 more years after this one. No problems with that. Evan Bouchard, 36 points. I think that's a career high for him after he sat out. Oh, no, he had 43 in the real world, but simulation high. Okay, Cody Glass, 33 points from him. At the halfway point, he had 13 points in 31 games, so he scored another 20 points in the next 41 games. I like that. 20 points in 41 games in the second half, 33-point season. And Bouchard was on pace for 34. He got 36. I like that. Esa Lindell, what did he do with the Sharks? In 21 games, 3 assists, that's fine. It's not the points that he's here for. A +2, 18 penalty minutes. It's just a presence as well. 22 minutes of ice time per night. It's important to have a guy like him out there. 42 hits, 24 blocked shots. We'll take it. We'll take it. Reedy, 27-point season from him. I'm pretty impressed with that, actually. Slowed down his pace from the first half, but still great. Blake Wheeler, in 39 games, scored 2 power play goals, 6 power play points, and 22 points in 39 games. Hey. And 16 of those points were even strength. We'll take it, Blake Wheeler, on pace for like a 45-point season as a fourth liner, 10.5 minutes a night. All right. Ryan Merkley, 19-point season from him. He was on pace for 18, so that works fine. Ferraro, 17 points and a +20. He's still injured through 66 games. Great season from him. Knizov, 16 points and a +5. Cunnin, 15 points in 45 games. He's been very good. Kniazev, 8 goals, 13 points, +16 in 64 games. Love it. Vlasic, 5 assists, +1 in 21 games. All right. Goaltending, Samsonov, talk to me, buddy. 30, 15, and 6. His record ends as .896 save percentage, 2.88 goals against. Montembeault, 15, 12, and 1 with 2 shutouts, .899 and 2.81. Makanyemi, 1, 2, and 2, 922, 2.42. Who's our postseason starter? I couldn't tell you right now. But moving into the entire NHL, if you're curious to look at the league, we see Austin Matthews, 57 goals, 95 points. Rookie skaters, how did Lucius do? Oof, a really tough competition this season. Great year, but tough competition. So no Calder, or probably even a Calder nomination for Chaz Lucius, but we're still very proud of him. And let me guess, Kakinen, there he is. Kakinen at the top. As soon as you trade away a goalie, he does amazing things. Who else do we see up there? Vanacek, Fleury, Shesterkin. Alrighty. So it was a very busy second half of the season. One of the longer videos, I think, of the series so far. Trades, going over the stats, lots to say so far. But let's just close it out by looking at who our opponent will be in round number 1 of the 2025 postseason. We will be facing the LA Kings. We both finished 6-3-1 in our last 10 games. They had 3 less wins than us, going 43, 32, and 7. It's the California rivalry. Let's take a look at their lineup quickly to see who we will be going up against. Fiala, Turcotte, Kempe, first line. Brown, Kopitar, Hoffman, second. Kaliev, Byfield, Silverberg, third. Niederreiter, Taze, and Velarde, fourth. That's a solid forward core. Defense, Brandt Clark, 90 overall Brandt Clark, with 89 overall Drew Doughty. Ellis, Anderson, Dursey, Spence. So their defense are all between 83 and 90. Their forwards are all between 81 and 88. And their goaltending is 84 overall Cal Peterson. Wow. So that's going to be a tough matchup in round number 1. And they have amazing depth as well. Oh my goodness. Okay. So get excited for the LA Kings coming soon. We'll go ahead and close it out there. Lots to talk about in the offseason after the postseason with the draft and with contract extensions. I will just say that heading into the postseason, we can think about guys like Sam Reedy, Ryan Merkley, Lindell. If we did keep him, it would cost us 5.375 for 5. That's not a bad deal, actually. So you know what? With moving out Wheeler and maybe moving out Vlasic, we could, in theory, afford Lindell. It's more the roster spot that would be tough. Reedy would probably be wanting about 1.7. Okay, we could do Reedy. Jason Zucker is asking for too much. We can't do 3 point whatever. Ryan Merkley, we might have to just qualify him. Okay, actually, it's not that's a very fair number. I might want to extend Merkley ASAP, actually. 2.65 for 8 years. That's too much cheese. But we could go 2 years as an RFA, or even like 5-6 years at maybe $3 million or 2.75. I don't know. He's been a second, third pair guy. It's not like he's doing 50 points, but we could think about that. And most of these other guys will walk. Goaltenders, Montembeault, if he came back, he wants 1.6. We could find someone in free agency probably. So keep those contract thoughts in mind. We'll look at the progress reports, contract, coaches, free agents, draft, all that at the end of next episode. For now, we'll close it out. So thank you very much for taking the time to watch the second half of year number 3 here in San Jose. It was quite the second half. We made some moves. I think we're in a good position, but the Kings will be a tough matchup. So leave your predictions for the postseason down here in the YouTube comments or over in the Discord server, the link in the description, as well as your suggestions for the lineup, for the goaltending, and anything in between, because we could use it. The special teams were not great. Remember that this is our current 5-on-5 lineup. The defense looks like this, with still Ferraro being out due to injury and William Eklund also out due to injury, so don't look at Luke Cunnin up there and think that he's the guy. Anywhere you see Cunnin, think of Eklund. So here's power play number 1, power play number 2, as well as the penalty kill lines here. Penalty kill 1, maybe getting Cody Glass off of there is the right move, but he's been good. Penalty kill 2 and penalty kill 3. Is Zucker there twice? Yeah, we should fix that. So we could definitely make some special team changes. Who was your MVP of the season? Who was maybe your dud of the season? Leave all those thoughts down here on YouTube or over on the Discord server. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the second half of this season. And hey, for a little bit of good luck heading into the postseason, it's not going to be easy. And of course, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Franchise mode, career simulations, and much, much more. Most recently, going through the career of Matty Beniers here on NHL 23, so you won't want to miss out on that or any future simulations. I'll leave you there. Thank you so much for taking the time to enjoy, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next one, where we have a second shot at the postseason in year number 3.